Hello, hello. Welcome to day 5 of the local lead generation challenge. So first of all, I just want to say congratulations for making it this far. This is a huge accomplishment. I know that there are so many places that you could be getting your information, education, and training on marketing, but you chose to spend it with me. So please know just how appreciative I am and how excited I really have been to be able to help you over the course of these last 5 days. However, we are not done. Today is what I consider the most important day. And I've kind of said that every day. And really what this is the fact that every day builds on the last. You really need to have these steps in order to actually achieve a fully effective and efficient online marketing system that's going to produce results day in and day out and actually produce a return on investment. But today is all about implementation and taking action. I hope you can see how that truly would be the most important thing, because without that, you literally have nothing. All you have is this great information that I've shared with you the last 4 days, and you have nothing more. So I do not want that to be the case for you. What I see, not only in the marketing industry and agency space, but with businesses in general, is the lack of implementation, the lack of taking action. And because of that, no one ever really moves forward, especially where their marketing is concerned, because we don't live in a world where you can wish something into existence, unfortunately. You either have to pay someone to do it for you or you have to do it yourself. So if you want to see a change, you need to make a change. There's a saying that my mom always told me that's probably one of my favorite sayings in general. And it says, keep doing what you're doing and you'll keep getting what you're getting. And that phrase has always appealed to me so much because it relates to the good and the bad. If you are just crushing it and getting amazing results, well, guess what? Keep doing what you're doing and you're going to keep getting what you're getting. It forces you to identify what is actually happening to force these results. If you're not seeing the results or the success that you want, whether it's for yourself as a business owner, whether it's for the company you work for as a marketer, or whether it's for your clients as an agency owner, if you keep doing what you're doing, you will keep getting what you're getting. Nothing is really going to change on its own. You have to make the choice to change it. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and dive in. I'm going to be sharing the tools, the strategies, the tips that you can use to implement really quickly and easily. So this is so very valuable. I get a lot of questions on this type of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so implement or choose to lose. It's really as simple as that. If you decide not to take action, you will see no changes in the results of your marketing. Please drill that into your head. But if you actually follow what I'm going to share with you today, that's not going to be the case, because you will implement effectively. Effectively to me means you're doing it in a shorter period of time. You're not wasting any time on things that don't matter, and you're actually doing something that will produce the results that you want to see. So that's really the goal here. So without action, you will fail. You know, I feel like I've hammered that point home, but I cannot say it enough. Number one, you need to realize that without this action, nothing matters. I see too many people, they get in this analysis paralysis stage or this information overload. Maybe they spend weeks, if not months, scouring the internet looking for free information. Maybe they get great information from a bunch of different sources, but they're like, oh my gosh, I have so much, I don't know what to do. I don't know how this applies to me or my business. And they literally never do anything. So it's not only the time that they wasted doing all that research, it's actually causing several other things. It's the opportunity cost of not taking action, because that entire period they could have been making more money or testing or seeing better results. But it also does something mentally to people, and the stress that it produces and the anxiety and sometimes like the doubt and the fear, those things can be just as bad, if not worse, than those opportunity costs you're missing out on. So I would encourage you to take a long, hard look at yourself or your business and understand what it is that's truly holding you back from putting the measures in place that you need to make a change in your marketing. Okay, sometimes it's your own mindset about marketing. Sometimes it's your skill set. Sometimes it is your lack of ability to block things out and put things into action, or your ability to delegate, or your fear of investing in training or coaching, or your fear of investing in team members to help you in your business. So really look at yourself in a serious way and an honest way, because if you don't do that, you're never going to understand where you need to start. So you do also need to believe that you can have this. So everything that I've showed you this week, honestly, has been a scratch of the surface in terms of what you truly need to understand, but most importantly, what you need to put into action to have this type of marketing system. But realize that it is a system. It's not an ad. You're not just throwing up an ad on Facebook or Instagram. There are a lot of different pieces in place, but you can have it. All you have to do is work to get it, or again, hire somebody to help you get it. That comes with investing your time or money. So I'm gonna just kind of, I won't say call a few people out, but you know, me and my team, we speak to a lot of people every week, and my clients are not necessarily like this because they have taken the time or the money to invest in their business. If you're a business, you're selling something. So you're asking other people to invest in your product or service. So why is it that so many business owners are unwilling to invest in their own businesses? And I'd really, really ask you to think about that if you feel like that's you, because you're asking something of someone that you're not willing to do. So either you're lying and telling people something you don't believe, which I don't believe is the case, or you think that for some reason your advice doesn't apply to you. And it does. Whether you are a marketing agency asking someone to invest in marketing, but you're unwilling to invest in your own skills or systems, or whether you're a business that's selling something, whether it's low ticket or high ticket, you have to believe that what you have is valuable to the end consumer. And if you do that, then you have no choice but to continuously improve not only your products and services, but the ability to reach the people who need you. So take your own advice, invest in your own business, whether it's time or money, because return on investment is what this is all about. It is not something where you're throwing dollars away. If you're doing this the right way, you're doing it to get much more back in return. So if you don't believe that, if you don't really understand the concept of return on investment, it's because you've never had something that's produced that for you. But if that's the case, it's not like that for everyone. Return on investment is achieved consistently in a really big way for people who do have the right systems in place. So realize that your anxiety is coming from the lack of ability to produce the results that you need, not because marketing isn't going to work for you. So these are the implementation basics. What do we need surface level to be able to put all of these things into practice? So number one, you're gonna need a Facebook business page. You do not need an Instagram business account or an Instagram account at all in order to actually advertise on the platform. You do need a Facebook ad account, and I would highly recommend a Facebook business manager account. We're not gonna have time to go into how to set all those things up, but those are the basics. If you want to execute any type of project, you're gonna need a project management tool. There's a lot of different tools out there. Really depends on how you work best, how your team works best. Sometimes you may try a few things. Personally, we use Asana, we used to use Trello, and we switched just because it wasn't giving us exactly what we needed. But I've used a lot of different project management tools in the past. And then you finally find something that works the best for you. You will need some place to store and organize your content, your images, your videos, and all the plans that you're gonna have. So Google Drive and Dropbox, two really popular, easy to use tools. I also recommend having a Google Calendar. You could have some other type of calendar. Google Calendar is something that integrates with just about everything. And so if you don't have these things set up yet, then look at the tools that you're going to use in terms of what they connect with. I'll be honest, you will kind of dig yourself into a hole if you use these obscure tools. Sometimes it's the really industry specific ones, but if you can't connect that with anything else, it's really not gonna help you very much. So you'll also need something like a webcam or a smartphone camera. Almost everyone has that, at least the smartphone camera. If you are going to be doing something like training, webinars, anything like that, just make sure you have an actual camera on your computer. You also need a quality product or service and a clearly defined offer. So this may seem like very basic knowledge. Again, we're on the implementation basics, but if you don't have a quality product or service, kind of goes back to what I just said. How are you even asking people to invest in it? You've got to be confident in what it is that you do and what it is that you're selling. Otherwise, the best marketing in the world isn't going to produce the right type of return, because you're constantly going to have unhappy customers. You're constantly going to be on the hunt for the next customer, and eventually you can saturate your audience. You also don't want a reputation as not having a great product or service. When you start advertising, you're putting yourself out there, you're putting your name out there, your brand, and people will begin to talk more about you because of it. That results in conversations that are good or bad, depending on what you're providing them. So currently, if you don't do a very good job, but you're only working with a handful of people, you're kind of keeping a low profile, you're not really putting your name out there. If you don't do a good job for someone, or if people don't like what you have, it's not often that the world will know about it, because it's only a couple of people. But if you truly want to grow your business and advertise, the more people you serve, if you're not making them happy, that's going to go online, and a lot of people will see that. So I highly encourage you to, again, invest in your actual business. Whatever the products and services are that you are providing, make sure they're quality. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of negative. You're going to get positive. You're going to get leads. Maybe you close those sales, but how long will those sales be with you? Are you going to be providing a lot of refunds? So please consider that first and foremost. And then a clearly defined offer is so necessary, because it's literally what this entire system should be built around. There should be synergy at every level when it comes to your offer, from your front end content to your offer focused ads, to your landing pages or messenger sequences or forms. It's going to go through your follow-up systems, through these scripts and things like that, that your actual salespeople or that you yourself will be saying. Everything needs to speak to your offer and to the audience that this offer was created for. So don't start this if you don't have an offer, or if you're not committed to your offer. You also want a sales process that's clearly mapped out. This is really in terms of those follow-up systems. You need to understand the way that people are actually buying what you have. Otherwise, you may build out systems that don't align with the customer journey. You need to make it a seamless process. You also want past results, reviews, testimonials, social proof. This goes back to having a great product or service. You don't have to have these things to grow a business in the beginning, but if you really want to scale, if you really want to make the most of your advertising, you need to be able to show people online that other people have had success with what it is I'm selling. Okay, other people have been really happy. We live in a world where it's too easy to type whatever you want. You can't rely on that anymore. People are so skeptical if they see a paragraph that you've typed out, quoting what someone has said. You need video testimonials. You need screenshots. You need these things that people can say, oh, that must be true. So again, it does go back to having something that's great. It also goes into asking people for those things. Don't ignore this part of the process. You could start that today. Whether you do anything else, reach out to your happy clients. Reach out to people who've left reviews in other places and ask them for videos. Have your sales team or the people that are engaging with clients focusing on asking at the right time of the process. If you don't have anything like this, and if when I just told you that you should reach out to people and ask for it, it gave you anxiety, it's because you're not confident in what you do, and because you potentially don't have a lot of happy customers. So that really leads you back to an earlier stage, investing in your products and services and investing in your skills if you are providing a service before you really take this to the next level. Because, I do believe in being ethical, and I think that people need to only be selling something if they believe in it. It's the fake it till you make it mentality, and in some cases that is fine. But when you're actually trying to get people to pay you for things, you have a responsibility to know what you're doing and to do the very best job or provide the very best thing for their actual needs and for what they're paying you for. All right, these are some actual tools that you are going to need in terms of programs or different systems. So video is a big part of what I encourage people to do. We'll either do it for our agency clients or we teach people how to do it in our programs. And a few of the platforms or the tools that I really like for video are InShot. For images, Snapseed is a good one, Camtasia, and Clipman. Those are 4 of my favorites. In terms of what you can use for ads, Canva is a great tool. You need to have quality images. That does not necessarily mean that you need professional photography. I actually think that some industries it's a lot more important than others. And in some industries, if you invest in this like too soon, where you're choosing to spend your money on professional photography instead of getting new clients, you're wasting your money. So really identify where you are and also what your clients provide, because on social media, organic feeling photos tend to work better 90% of the time. I will say the remodeling industry is one of those where you do want quality photography, but a lot of other things, even like makeup and hair where the visuals are really important, I do not think that it's necessary to have professional photography to have effective advertising. And I would encourage someone to get good at taking good photos on their phone. Portrait mode is awesome. Having a ring light, the right lighting can make a world of difference. So there are things that you can do on your end before you spend money on things that are not going to move the needle. You also want to have quality copy, whether that means that you really need to work on your own copywriting skills or hire somebody who's good at writing copy. Literally everything in your marketing has to do with writing. Outside of the actual ad creative, it's almost everything. I mean, content, even if you're doing a video, there has to be a script or at least a script framework. You are going to have ad copy. You're going to have copy on your landing pages or even on your forms or your messenger flows. You're going to have copy in all of your follow-up systems and your scripts. There's not a single thing that doesn't involve writing. So if you're not confident in your writing skills, you're going to struggle. The good news is writing is not something that you're either like born being good at or not. You can learn it. There are frameworks. There are very clear things that you can follow to become an effective copywriter or to model effective copywriting for your own business. Like I showed you on day 3, I literally took the copy that I had written for one of my clients and I just straight up tweaked it in 5 minutes to be for a completely different industry and offer. It's very easy to do that. You just have to be starting with something that's actually worked. Otherwise, you may think it's great when really it was never going to be effective. And then that could really impact the way that you feel about your writing when ultimately you were just basing it off of something that was never effective in the first place. Boomerang is also something I like to use. They are videos, but they're also kind of like images. It's really like in between, but boomerangs can be really effective in ads. Automation, you want to have the right CRM. Like I said earlier, something that integrates with other things. Do not get this super industry specific obscure CRM because I can guarantee you that it doesn't actually do anything much better than any of the others. If you have a customizable CRM, you can fit it to your needs if you understand the buying and selling process. You also want to have something like Zapier for automation. An email and text message autoresponder is crucial. In terms of your content, you want to have a content calendar. You want to have a social scheduler, and you want to have a content framework. So a content framework is something that, again, we utilize for all of our clients and students. Basically, it's like a year's worth of content ideas that's put together for you based on very specific things. And this will ensure that you never don't know what to say in your content. You also don't want to spend so much time every day doing organic social posts. There are some businesses where organic social can really get you to a great level, but organic is not sustainable. It's just really not. So the question is, do you want to invest your time into doing organic heavily? Maybe it gets you to a certain level. After that, you're not going to be able to go any farther, when you could have been investing that time in a paid ad system from the beginning that will scale and grow with you. So really think about that. Organic content and great content is definitely a part of the system. We haven't had a chance to go through all of that, but It's very important. You just have to really understand the principles that will allow it to be successful and realize that it's quality over quantity, and where to utilize it within the paid ad system. Then some of the tools, a ring light, like I mentioned, you could get an external microphone, a selfie stick tripod with the remote. This is something I use on almost a daily basis. ClickFunnels or a landing page builder. We are not typically sending any ads to someone's regular website. The people that I speak to that have spent an extensive amount of time and money developing a really, sometimes not even that awesome, but just a really extensive website, I don't believe that it was the best use of their time or money. Definitely understand that a lot of people are given really bad advice, or maybe they have these thoughts that are just not ultimately true. However, I believe that it's because they don't have an offer, they don't understand the social selling system, so it really is a lack of understanding. But please don't spend any more time trying to make your regular website perfect if you have not yet cracked paid ads and gotten a social selling system in place, because you're not really going to be using your website that much. You also want to have something like mini chat. There's pros and cons to messenger marketing, but I definitely like it for lead generation. They're changing a lot of things, but in terms of just higher conversion rates, it can work better sometimes. Just depends on the industry and the market. Also, Twilio is a really great connection for text message. Even if you have a text autoresponder, still probably going to need to connect that. And then a voicemail drops provider and a booking platform to allow people to book those calls or book those appointments if that's a good fit for your business. Here are some of the essentials of effective implementation. Again, by effective, I mean it's less time, more impact, okay? Less time, more impact, meaning more money. You're also going to be helping a lot more people. So those that are really driven by changing other people's lives, you are doing a major disservice to those people by not taking action. So what you need is a clear plan from the beginning. If you don't have a clear plan, it's not a good move to go ahead and start doing all this stuff. You're going to spend more time doing rework than you ever possibly would have. I mean, you can essentially double your workload just by not having a clear plan in place to begin with. No fluff, meaning if it's not going to move the needle, you don't need it. You also need tangible goals. I'm not talking about theories. I'm not talking about what feels good on the inside. I'm saying real monetary goals, real lead goals, real conversion goals, and also what physical things do I want to have in place? Some people don't actually know what they need, but I can tell you that from my point of view, almost every business needs the exact same setup. The details of that setup are going to be different. It's going to be a different offer. It's going to be a different avatar. It's going to be a different type of funnel, potentially. It's going to be a different type of follow-up, but all of the physical pieces are actually the same. So it's really not that confusing if you just have somebody to show you what you need, or if you really take the time to understand it. You also want to have a structure. You want to be able to block out your time for things. In marketing, shiny object syndrome is a very common term in a lot of other industries as well, but there's always something new and novel and unique, seemingly unique at least, in the marketing industry. Do not waste your time on those things. If you don't have these basics, these essentials, if you don't have a great system already, you literally are not going to succeed with these new shiny objects, because typically they're tools that can either help you do things better, which they're not going to help you do things better if you don't have what you need in place to begin with. But again, they're one tool. You need a whole system. So please stop looking to the left and the right every 5 minutes. Have your blinders on. Have a structure of what you need to accomplish. And I'm going to show you in the next slide a really simple way to break that down. You also need training or coaching if you are not confident in doing these things yourself. Sometimes it's a lack of understanding. Sometimes it's a lack of technical skill. I think a lot of people, and I just actually was commenting on somebody's Facebook post this morning. So Michael Stelzner is the creator of Social Media Examiner. He has been wildly successful. He's the one that created Social Media Marketing World. He is the owner of the biggest social media training website in the world. And he was talking about the fact that he hired a coach last fall and how it honestly, was something he never thought he would have to do, because as people who believe they have the skills, sometimes it can be humbling to ask for help, but everyone needs help in some area of their life. And you need to be able to recognize where you are lacking and get the help, because all you're doing is wasting time and the opportunity costs are going to be significant to you. You also need accountability, kind of goes back to the training and coaching. You need to ensure that when you set your mind to something, you have a reason to do it. And a lot of times that's kind of the main benefit of, training and coaching. I was kind of similar to Michael for a long time. Last year, I ended up hiring 2 coaches. I can definitely say that my thought process around that was not correct. I mean, I've always been someone that can put things into action, but a lot of times it's the perspective that you simply don't have yourself, or someone pushing you to do something you would not have done on your own, or someone keeping you focused and kind of calling you out on your BS if you deviate from the plan. So very, very important pieces. A lot of these are mental things that you have to deal with, but there is no shame in asking for help, regardless of how successful you already are or what you've created in other areas of your life. You also want to have a content splintering plan. This is something that, again, we don't have enough time to really go into all the details, but being able to create more content so that you can test more content, being able to do it faster and better. There's a really simple system for this, and you just really need to understand how to do it and the tools you need to do it. You also want to be using automation in every possible way. This saves time, which means you can get more done by not doing things that literally could be done by a computer. I'm creating new automations every day. I just set up one yesterday for hiring on new team members. We had a system, but we were doing it manually. And now I automated at least 75% of the process. It took me a little time to really understand what I wanted to happen and in what order it needed to happen. But that's something that's going to save me loads of time moving forward. And it's also going to make it easier for the people that I hire. So it's a win-win. But you also need the mindset for success. There's a lot of things in terms of mindset that people hear all the time. Marketing mindset is what I'm really talking about. And that is believing that you can produce a system that will deliver consistent results on a regular basis. That is believing that you are able to understand and learn what you need to do to market your own company or the companies that you're working for. It's also the understanding that you don't know everything you need to know right now. So it's a constant learning and education process. There is really no finish line here. If you are in the marketing field, or if you are a business owner in general, if you choose to stop learning, you will likely fail. And it's because things are always changing. It's never going to be the same plan forever. Really, what I try and tell people is, in the same way that almost every business needs the same set of things, you also need something that's timeless and that is not heavily reliant on one popular platform of the moment or one theory or strategy. Because the problem is that things can change. I do not believe in any way that Facebook and Instagram are going anywhere. I think that they will be around for a long time, but even if they go away, social media is not going anywhere. People are too hooked on it. It's not going to go anywhere. So what you really need to understand is the way that people buy, the thought process of how people think, the strategies you should be using to present, package, and sell what you have to offer, and really communication platforms. I think that, it's something that we all need to be more aware of. How can I spend my time doing something that will last a long time as opposed to have a really short shelf life? These are some steps to implementing fast, okay? Number 1, map out everything on paper first. I can't stress this enough. Don't just dive in, okay? Have a clear plan in place, map it out on paper. Understand the critical components of what you're going to need with those goals clearly identified. Then you want to list out everything you can possibly think of into steps, okay? And it may be 100, it may be more than that. It really depends on where you are. Then you want to take those steps that you've listed out and you want to group them into a collection of sections, okay? It's either going to be things that are done with the same types of tools, or it's going to help accomplish the same goal. Usually those things are pretty easy to map out. It's going to be things like copy, creative, follow-up systems, funnels, automation, ads, etc. So really get those into these groups so you can see things more clearly. Then you're going to identify which are the most important or which needs to be done first. This is also something that I see people have a lot of problems with. They will do something that maybe they weren't ready for, even if in theory it was done correctly. Once they do another piece of the puzzle, they realize they missed a lot of steps, or that the whole framework of what they just did doesn't fit in with their overall system. So it's very important to do things in the right order as much as it is to do things the right way. You also want to decide how long you actually think that each section is going to take you based on your current knowledge and the current assets you already possess. That could be, creative assets, that could be copywriting assets, that could be tools and programs that are already set up. I firmly believe that anyone can learn how to do this. I guess it was literally like 10 years ago now, when I started to get involved in marketing 10 years ago, I literally felt computer illiterate. Now I'm one of the most advanced people that I know in terms of working on computers. Definitely not like a back-end person, but I can code a website, I can do all of these things. And I never would have thought ever that I was that person. I have people working with me and for me that are, not young kids, and they have never done some of these things and they've learned how to do them. So you can learn how to do it. You do need the right information, but just because you're a newbie does not mean that you really can't have an advanced and effective system. You also want to set deadlines for each section. Give yourself that accountability, and you want to block out time on your calendar for each section and those individual required steps. So you're really going to have a plan here. And just to give you some perspective, I guess, we do this entire system from start to finish in 9 weeks in my program. It is fast-paced. So just because you can't get it done in 9 weeks doesn't mean that you're failing, but it is an aggressive program. And the reason for that is that the sooner you have these things up and running, the better off you're going to be. There's no reason to waste time stretching it out unless you have true time objections to overcome. And even people who have limited time, you still find a way to fit in the things that are important to you and the things that you value. And if you value growing your business or furthering your career, that means marketing. It means getting it out to more people, getting more leads, getting more sales. So really decide, how long do I want to stretch this out? Sometimes it's a trade-off of time versus money. In some cases, shorter periods of time actually mean larger investments of money. Like if you think about something that should take an extended period of time and someone telling you you can get it in a week, well, even though it's shorter time, it's actually worth more because you have it sooner. If it's done right, that is the most important thing. It may take you, I know people who've been working on these things for years and they still don't have them. I don't think it should take that long, but I easily know it takes at least a year for some people to get all these things in place. And a lot of that is because it's trial and error for them. You don't have a specific plan. You will get things set up and again, realize that you've done it the wrong way, or you didn't think about things in the right way, or realize that it doesn't interact with these other things in the way that it should, which does cause you to troubleshoot. It also sometimes can stop you because you just don't know where to go from there. And then the rework itself is going to take a significant amount of time. So do yourself a favor, plan these things on the front end. So this is your homework for day 5. And if you're still here, again, super excited. I am going to be giving away a big prize at the end of this to somebody who's watched this day 5 video. I'm not going to, go into all of the details now. We'll go ahead and get through the rest, but just know that your participation in this could be seriously rewarding. So homework for day 5, number 1, list out the programs and tools that you're going to need. Number 2, commit to setting time aside each week in terms of not only the learning portion that you need, but also the action taking portion. Again, that is the most important, but it's not going to have any impact also if you don't understand the strategy and the structure that you're going to need to have for this to be successful. You also want to cut out anything that's not helping you achieve an ROI. So a lot of times we'll be talking with maybe potential agency clients, and they'll say, okay, here are the things that we're currently spending the rest of our marketing budget on. What do you suggest? Well, my first question is always going to be, well, which one's producing the best ROI for you? Again, most of the time they don't know. Really digging into those things and seeing, have I ever made a sale from our Instagram page? If so, why are we posting every single day? Why is one of our employees, or why am I myself spending an hour a day focusing on Instagram when we have never made a trackable sale from the platform? Just because you think it's cool doesn't mean it's making you money. Sometimes people will spend so much time blogging, and blogging does have a place in the system. It truly does. But again, it's quality, not quantity, and it's using it in the right way. So if there's something that you're currently doing that you cannot say with confidence has produced revenue for your company, stop doing it right now and start focusing on the things that I've been sharing with you. You also, again, need to realize that you don't know everything that you need to do, because if you did, you would not be here right now. You signed up for this challenge because you needed to either learn this in the first place or learn how to do it better, and that's okay. It's actually your greatest asset, understanding that you don't know what you don't know, or that you're not as good as you could be. You're never going to be as good as you could be until you continue to work on it. It is a constant learning and growing process. Be willing to accept that. Don't let your ego stand in the way of significant financial return, and again, that impact that you could be making in the lives of other people. Sometimes that impact is on your family. If you were able to increase your revenue significantly, what would that mean for your family? Could you put your kids into private school? If you don't feel like their current school is doing it for them, could you buy better quality food for your family? Could you take your wife or your husband on, more dates or trips so you could really spend time connecting? Could you take the whole family on a vacation and actually have some fun together? Or could you hire other people to help you so that you can stop spending all your time working and spend time with the people that you really love? Also, the people that you're going to hire in the future, you're impacting their lives by giving them a job. That's very, very valuable. And then the lives of your clients or customers. If you truly believe in what you do, then you have to believe that you're making a difference. Even if we're not changing the world or curing cancer, we have to believe that what we do makes a difference. Otherwise, you're simply in the wrong business. So the next thing you could do is, if you feel like you do need help and that it's help you don't know if you could do on your own, or if you feel like, yes, I could do this on my own, but it's going to take me so much time to do that, and I'm probably going to redo it multiple times, and then I'm still not confident that it's going to work, I would love for you to book a call with me and my team. We actually have a variety of solutions for a lot of different people. You do not have to hire us as an agency. We don't have to do everything for you. My local marketing mastery program is what I personally enjoy doing the most in my business. And it's because I'm confident that I'm changing people's lives and businesses. I love teaching, I love training, but most importantly, I love helping people implement. And that's what the program is about. We set up your entire online marketing system in 2 months. We do have some really awesome bonuses for anybody who signs up and applies in the next few weeks. Those are going to be going away. We'll definitely talk to you about those on the call, but there's no commitment. If you schedule a call, we're just going to talk to you. We truthfully want to understand what your needs are. Are you really in a place to outsource something, or should you be doing it in-house? Who's the best person to do that? What assets do you already have? Is this something you need? I don't believe in selling something to someone that they really don't need. I just want to help someone in the best possible way. We have strategy packages where if you feel like you could truthfully do all the work, but you do not have a clear plan, you really need all of those pieces in place. before you start working on it, that's something that people have loved us helping them with. It's really, really in-depth and involved. I love doing them. Definitely helps keep me creative. Strategy and planning are one of my favorite things. So again, we have courses. We have done with you. We have done for you. We have strategy. We have things to fit every single budget and every single need. If you're a local business or a marketer or agency that works with local businesses. So this is something that I really can't stress enough. If you are a marketer, if you are an agency, you have got to be confident in what you're doing. You've got to be sure that you can produce results for people. I wouldn't say that it's something that bothers me necessarily, but a lot of our clients, they have spent a lot of money with people in the past before they come to us, and they saw nothing. Like, that person literally wasted all of their money because the person that was doing their marketing, the person that told them that they could get results for them, couldn't do it. And not only did they waste that money, they wasted time, they wasted their opportunity costs, and it also gave them a really skeptical view of marketing. And I hate that, because marketing as a whole is never good or bad. It really is what you do with it. But truthfully, if you have seen results, if you have generated results, then you know what it can do for someone. I mean, getting my 2 Comma Club after generating over $1 million in revenue for a local business through just one sales funnel, it's amazing when you can see that happen. And I want to help other people do it. I want to help other people achieve that for their clients. Whether you're an agency, a local business, or you market for a local business as their in-house employee, or even as a salesperson, this is something that you can utilize, and I would be really honored to help you with. I know that my calling in life is to help businesses in this way, is to help individuals in this way. And again, if you actually need it, that's when I want to help you with it. If this isn't something that works for you or that is going to help drive your life or business forward, I don't want you to book a call. I don't want you to waste your time. Don't waste our time. But I've seen firsthand just how many people do need this. And I've seen the type of transformation that can come when people invest in themselves and invest in their business and actually take action. So that's why I created this program. It is 9 weeks. It is a live program, so 3 calls per week live. I do have a really clear structure that focuses on training and master classes, implementation, so we're actually going over all the technical aspects together, and Q&A to make sure that everything is super clear, whether you're having trouble with your tech, whether you're having trouble with, integrating your systems together. Anything is fair game, essentially. You get access to me through our Facebook group, through Voxer. You're able to get your questions answered by a real person. But one of the best things is that we do a one-on-one strategy with every single person in this program. So before you ever pick up your computer, we've already mapped out your entire game plan, and that's what you focus on. So we're going through content, creative, our 3-level ad strategy, the AB3 method that we've talked about. We go over content splintering and video creation. We're going over automation, follow-up systems. We already have your offer developed before we ever get down and dirty, essentially. So a lot of these things we've talked about, we're going to be able to go over this in like 1 to 2 hours, knock it out for you and your business, never have to worry about it again. Then it's all about putting this into action and really having something that's very tangible. A ton of our students have invested a lot of money in other coaches, other programs, other high-ticket courses, and it honestly breaks my heart in a lot of ways when I talk to them, because I get on the phone with somebody that's already spent so much money and they still don't have an offer. They don't even know what an offer is. And it makes me wonder what's actually going on in some of these programs. How does someone go through that and not have the fundamentals of what they need? But most importantly, they don't have anything set up. They don't even have their Facebook ad account set up the right way. So that's my goal. We're not just training. We're putting things into action. Tangible results and systems is the focus of this program. And again, I would really encourage you, if this sounds like something that you could benefit from, live support, accountability, you're literally going to get all my templates for everything, all of our creative templates, all of my past copy for lots of different industries. You're going to get my funnel templates. We can literally copy follow-up systems in their entirety and give it to you. Everything that I have is at your disposal. I don't hold anything back, and it's something we constantly update. So if it sounds like something that could not only help you, whereas nothing has helped you before, or something that could expedite your success significantly, cut off 9 months of the process you know it would take if you tried to do this on your own, so that for that 9 months you could be making money instead, I would just love for you to book a call with us. Again, we do have different options in terms of financial commitment. If you're not in a place to do something that is going to be more intensive, we also allow people to upgrade over time. So if there's something you start with and you do end up wanting to come into this program, we're essentially going to credit that back to you. And we also do have flexible payment options for those that need it. So do not be scared in terms of finances. I truthfully believe that we significantly undercharge for this program, but I wanted to make this as accessible as possible to businesses and marketers who need it. If you believe in your cause, if you believe in your products and services, and you're asking other people to invest in your business, you need to be willing to invest in your own, whether it's financial, but most importantly, these skill sets that will give you something that is an actual system that you can replicate for other businesses in the future, or that is going to grow with you and be with you through the course of your life as a business owner or marketer. So that's all I have for you today. Again, so excited and congratulations that you finished this 5-day challenge. It is such a huge accomplishment. Continue to ask your questions in the Facebook group. Let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. Let me know if there are any questions that you have. I truly want to be a resource for others because I know how important it was for me to have mentors, coaches, and resources when I was getting involved in this, because it is confusing. So never hesitate to reach out. I'm so excited that you've taken this week and invested your time with me. Again, I really, really appreciate that. And I look forward to working with you or helping you or growing with you moving forward. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the week and happy marketing.